And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chats. I am your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crime addict connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls obsessed with dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
Here is your disclaimer, chatters. The following crime chat contains adult content and will have descriptions of violent and kind of really creepy scenarios today.
Yeah.
So, your listener discretion is advised.
You've been warned. And before we get into today's crime chat, Kat, what shenanigans have you been up to?
Working.
Still abroad? So where are you?
I'm still in Indianapolis. I only have
Okay.
another week here. So I think by the time we record again, I'll be home.
Okay.
So, but I did meet up with our lovely friend Lorraine.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
so much fun. We went down the Indianapolis Canal and we were walking and we went out to lunch. We went to this local brewery called BrewLink Brewery.
Hmm.
And I guess it is a chain, maybe, but maybe it's like a chain in this kind of area of the country. But I'd never heard of it before. And did you see the picture that she sent that says awesome beer for your mouth hole?
Yes. Yes.
When Chris came up, we went to that place
Hmm.
and I was like, Lorraine, we gotta go there. And they've got really good food. So yeah, and it was short.
I
It went by
know.
really fast, but look, we were laughing that like the entire time. We just had a ball. We had a great time.
Yeah, the video that you took
Yeah.
was hilarious. It was so nice to see you both, but like you guys were having such a good time and it was
Yeah.
such a positive video. And those videos that you showed the gondola,
Uh-huh.
it was beautiful. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never been to the city.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice.
And it's not very long. Like when I go out and, being a good patient,
Mm.
walking, doing what I'm supposed to do for my
Yeah.
recovery. So
Yeah.
you can actually go down and like walk around the canal, and it's about almost 3 miles. So like 2 and 3/4 of a mile if you do like
Mm.
the whole loop all the way around, because my hotel is right on the canal.
Is it
So you just
really?
go, yeah, you go to like the lower, I'm not facing it, I'm facing the parking lot.
Okay.
But but yeah, it's right on the canal. So like you go down to like the lower level and it you walk out and it's right there. So
And that's a restaurant, she said?
what's that?
The
Where
gondola?
they had the gondola? Yeah, so there's
Mhm.
like this little Italian restaurant. Chris and I ate there too.
Okay.
They had really good flatbread. I had a margarita flatbread. It was so good. It's run out of like that hotel or that hotel. It's run out of that restaurant. I think it's
Okay.
called Fresco's. And that is maybe like not even a 5 minute walk from where I'm at, the restaurant.
Wow.
But you know what really surprised me?
Mm.
Most of the places like around this canal, you would think bars, restaurants, fun things. And they do. They have those like little swan paddle boats and they have
Hmm.
kayaks and there's things that you can do the gondola like on the water. There's 3 restaurants around this 2 and 3/4 mile loop. That's it.
That's
The
it?
the Italian one, the other two are kind of down way on the like the other end. That is
Mhm.
like part of a business kind of thing. One of them is like the State Museum. They've got a
Mhm.
restaurant that they have out of there. I don't know what the other one is, but I'm like that's like I feel like that's
That's it? But
they'd be making some money.
yeah,
That's what
but
I think.
what are the local businesses? Is it just like
It's
bars, so
residential.
pubs?
It's all residential.
Oh,
So
okay.
between hotels and so Indiana University is right here too. The
Hmm.
Hoosiers and
Hmm.
Purdue, they're like within a walking distance. So a lot of them are like a lot of students, like their
Hmm.
apartments and stuff. So it'd be like a lot of students would be staying there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
there's
It's
a
a
lot of
beautiful
like
city.
families and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you this too. The I've never had this happen before in my life, ever.
Uh-oh.
I was working and I was on my way back. It was late. And I was driving in kind of a little sketch area, but I was on my way back to my hotel.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess never mind. It wasn't that late. It might have been just when the sun was going down. There was a guy walking, and it was a red, so I was slowing down, but I didn't stop all the way because it had turned green. So I was like slowing down a little bit. He goes like this and gives me like the finger guns, points it
What?
right at me. I've never, ever had that happen in my
Girl.
life.
That's scary.
It scared me. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
He
Okay,
doesn't know he was messing with
that's a
Kit Kat.
first,
Well, he doesn't know
right?
he was he doesn't know your background. He
No, he
doesn't
doesn't.
know.
No.
That's right.
I'd kick his ass. He was like a little older guy, and he had like a bag of food or something in his hand, and you can just tell he might not have all been all there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a scary like
Yeah.
gesture to make to somebody.
Yeah.
Not okay. Oof.
Yeah. Anyways, in the midst of everything, I've got our Ryan Bagheera and Shane Madej playing in my background. I just literally had it on
Oh.
loop. And I was watching some of the old episodes from BuzzFeed Unsolved, and I
Mm-hmm.
forgot this. Shane was not always on there with Ryan. It was another guy, Brent something.
Oh,
And
what?
I remember like when I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I want to say it was like for maybe the first two seasons of BuzzFeed Unsolved, and that was before they started doing Supernatural. It was when they were really quick, like
Uh-huh.
true crime, unsolved, weird things.
Uh-huh.
And you could just see, like, I was watching some of the oldest ones, and I was like, man, they've gotten so much better over the years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was just funny. And the other guy, he was okay, like, with Ryan, but man, Shane and Ryan are just like the best.
Click. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it. What about you?
I really haven't done anything exciting other than work and
Hmm.
planning a little trip
Yes,
for
your
like,
birthday.
yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. My birthday is tomorrow. And
Yes.
then for my birthday, I think we're going to go out to dinner. I'm going out to
Yes.
dinner basically every day till I go away. I planned a trip to visit my girlfriend
Hmm.
in Franklin, Tennessee.
Hmm.
And I'm just going to enjoy Tennessee and relax and kind of get separate from, I don't know, the drama. And just like,
It'll probably be
yeah.
cooler there too. And she's in the
You think
mountains.
so? She's in Franklin. It's by Nashville.
Is it?
Hmm. We're
That's
like
only a couple
11
hours away
miles
from where
away.
I'm right now.
Where is it?
I said it's only a couple hours away from where I'm at right
Oh,
now.
really? But you're going home soon.
I know. I'm leaving in a few days, so yeah.
I don't know. So
But
that's about it.
that's exciting.
I'm excited. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I've never been to Tennessee. I've heard wonderful things about it. And
Well,
that's it. That's
happy
it.
birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday
you.
from the Chatter
Thank
family.
you.
And you got your
Yes.
gift.
Oh my God. So I don't have it with me, but Kat got me the coolest bracelet, a beautiful candle,
Hmm.
like friendship candle, and but the bracelet is so clever. It's a bracelet that has a partner in crime,
Hmm.
but it's in Morse
Morse code.
code.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. I
And
love
she
it.
has another one coming. It's just late.
It's okay. My birthday is for the entire month of June. So,
I know, right?
yeah.
Yes. Well, awesome. So today we are not going to be talking about a fun birthday topic.
No.
Wait, let me get out of Dollywood. Hold on. We are going to be talking. Said you wanted me to do an intro on stalking.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stalked?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was not necessarily, yeah, I guess that you could say in New York, there was situations where I was followed either
Mhm.
to the bus. It always
Oh,
happened at night.
yeah, yeah.
But I think I've told you this before. Where I worked was Lexington and Madison,
Hmm.
so it was a nice area, well lit. And when I was in those situations where I felt I knew somebody was following me, there was no way you could not be seen.
Hmm.
There was always somebody like around on the
Hmm.
blocks.
Hmm. Go where
But
there's cameras.
yeah, or just
Yeah.
go where there's people
Or people. Yeah, yeah.
and back then, like as a woman, if you said help, you would have like New York was very stoic at that
Hmm.
point.
Hmm.
People would run, men would run to be like, "What's going on?" You know.
Hmm.
So, and then I had somebody show up at my doorstep.
Oh.
Yeah, that was. I had a weird situation one time. Okay, I went out with a girlfriend. It's up like 4 years ago when I was at my apartment,
Yeah.
and I met somebody. I went on one date with them
Hmm.
and this was like weeks after the date. A date wasn't anything. It wasn't like, like we were going to
Yeah.
see each other or anything. It was just, wouldn't even call it a date.
Hmm.
Got home it was about 11 o'clock at night, got home, opened my car door. guess who was face? I turned to get out of my car, and his face was right there,
Oh
blocking my
God.
way out of the car. And he's
What
like,
happened?
"Hey, where'd you go? What's going on? How are you?" I'm like, Why are you here at 11 o'clock? Like, what?"
Yeah.
And I honestly, my issue, like, I think it's just my personality where I don't normally immediately think I'm in danger.
Yeah.
I immediately get not confrontational, but I immediately go there. Like,
Yeah.
why are you here? Like,
Yeah.
and I think it caught him off guard that I got that in his face,
Yeah.
that whatever he was thinking, he ended up going immediately home.
Yeah.
But like, I think if I would have acted scared, I think it would have. I think I
It would-
shocked him with me
Yeah.
not, like, what the fuck. But
You
yeah,
would have given him a rise.
yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm too obnoxious to kidnap, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, so what about you? Have you ever been stalked?
So when and I'll get a little bit kind of into like the details of the stalking, but I think I had told you when I was a kid, we had that guy that was creeping in like young
Mm-hmm.
girls' windows.
Oof.
It would be like a form of stalking, and some stalking, like I said, I'll kind of get to it, is usually goes in hand with another crime. For him, it would have been like voyeurism,
Uh-huh.
like just
Uh,
standing there outside the window and just like standing there looking at an 11-year-old girl watching TV in her bedroom.
that is gross.
It happened
Oh.
a few times. And then I think I told you my girlfriend, he had actually gotten inside her house and she rolled over and he was standing there in her doorway in the middle of the night.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh my God.
As an adult, the only thing, I don't think so. The only thing that kind of comes to mind was an ex-boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more so of a possessive thing. Like after we broke
Mm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
he, yeah, he scared the shit out of me. Like very possessive, narcissistic, like you're mine. Nobody, if nobody, or if I can't
Yeah.
have you, nobody else can, blah, blah, blah. Like I was in fear for my life.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's crazy. That's not good.
Yeah, that was a little scary. Not really. That's about it. At least not that I'm aware of or have
Mm-hmm.
made notice. But what
Right.
we're gonna go over is like some good tips for you
Mm-hmm.
chatters out there because it's not just women who get stalked, men get
No.
stalked as well.
Yes.
And just a quick note, I got the following information from the Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resource Center, Spark, and it has
Mm-hmm.
a ton of information on there. The very first thing I saw when I went on there is that they have a breakdown of all 5 seasons of Netflix's You to discuss stalking indicators from the character Joel Goldberg and like his
Really?
love interests and stuff that he has throughout the series. And it focuses on how sometimes stalking can seem like a romantic fantasy. You're like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
into me kind of thing, but
Right.
it's actually very scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
Joe
that.
was Joe's a scary dude. And I think sometimes those girls, those women, by the time they realized it, they're like, fuck. So, stalking is a pattern of unwanted or repeated attention, harassment, or contact directed to a specific person. It involves behaviors that cause a reasonable person to fear for their safety or suffer some kind of substantial, like emotional stress.
Mm-hmm.
Stalking can occur in a person, online, or through a combination of that. And the pattern that they're referring to is identified as 2 or more incidents of stalking, but it also can vary from like state to state. So that kind of does depend as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stalkers use a variety of tactics, including, but not limited to, unwanted contact, including phone calls, texts, and contact via social media. That's where a lot of my my crazy ex, like we broke
Yeah.
off and stuff, and I'm like, don't contact me. He would just,
Scroll. Mm-hmm.
yes. Oh my gosh. And unwanted gifts, showing up, approaching an individual or their family or friends,
Mm-hmm.
monitoring them, surveilling them, causing property damage, and
Mm-hmm.
threats.
Mm-hmm.
Stalking is a crime in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, United States territories, military bases, and in tribal areas. It's often considered aggravated when it violates a restraining order. Some of the behaviors that make up a crime of stalking are criminal on their own, like I was talking about, like property
Mm-hmm.
damage, voyeurism,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But even if the behavior is not a crime on its own, like excessive texting, or sending you a gift. It may
Mm,
be part of a pattern of stalking behavior, and victims really should consider documenting it and reporting it. A majority
yeah.
of stalking victims are female. However, all genders can be stalked. It's estimated that 1 in 3 women and then 1 in 6 men will experience some sort of stalking in their lifetime, which is huge.
This
That's a
reminds me of baby
huge number.
reindeer. Oh
Yes.
yeah. But this reminds me of baby reindeer.
Yeah.
And also mental illness is rampant right
Yeah.
now. I think
Yeah.
COVID really broke a lot of the brains in this world. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I think it really made people feel so vulnerable in a weird way that it broke some people's brains.
Yeah. I could see that.
Mm,
Now, there are 4 categories of stalking, like 4 different levels: surveillance, life invasion, intimidation, and interference. And I'm going to
mm,
break each one of them down. Surveillance is the most commonly identified stalking tactic, and it includes watching and gathering information about the victim. Some questions to consider if you are a victim of this tactic is: has the offender followed you? Have they watched you? Have they shown up unexpectedly? Have they gone through your mail or your trash? Have they
mm,
communicated in ways that would make you feel like they're being obsessive or make you concerned for your safety?
mm-hmm,
Have they monitored your activity online or used tracking software on your phone, tablet, or your computer? Oh,
mm,
that's so scary.
yeah.
The second one, life invasion. This describes ways that offenders show up in the victim's life without the victim's consent, like show up at a family get together or like out with
Mm,
girlfriends and they're like, oh, they happen to be there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This may include excessive contact, showing up, spreading rumors, and or sending gifts. Some questions to determine if this tactic is used include repeated initiated unwanted contact with you. For example, repeated phone calls, text messages, emails. If they send gifts to you or left objects or items for you to find.
Mm,
If they try to initiate contact with you through third parties, your family, your friends, that kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
Have they harassed your friends, family members, or other third parties? And have they sent photos of themselves or of you to locations that you frequent? Like, that is the scariest thing. Like, if you have a
Oh
picture of
yeah.
me in a
Yeah.
place that I've been and you took my picture,
That's
that's,
freaky.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The third one, intimidation. In this one, it basically kind of depends on the context of the stalking. The context is critical to determining if this is the actual tactic. Many behaviors are intimidating when considered within a totality of the stalking behaviors in relation to the victim and offender's relationship and history. So, my ex, we had a history,
Mm-hmm.
and he's using certain tactics like for intimidation to intimidate me to come back.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
To determine this, has the offender threatened you explicitly or implicitly, in person or online, threatened to destroy property, harm pets, sabotage you in other ways, threatened to or actually harmed themselves?
Mm,
Oh my God, yes.
yeah. Emotional blackmail.
Yeah. He pretended to slice his wrist while we were on the phone together.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That I hope, did he ever get treatment or help or anything,
No,
or you just kind of like left and said bye?
no. Well,
Like,
he ended up killing a local German in a car accident, and he was kicked out of the military. He got convicted of vehicular
wow.
homicide because the Germans, and he got actually kind of got out easy because they let him go through military justice, like the military
Mm-hmm.
courts. The Germans wanted to prosecute him, and they would have put him in jail because he killed a local.
Yeah.
It was a head-on collision. He was
Oh
texting
my
while he was
God.
driving.
Oh my Lord. Thank God you got out of that.
Oh my God, yes. Anyway, so have they blackmailed you?
Mm-hmm.
Done anything that has intimidated, frightened, or alarmed you? So some of that part with the blackmail is like, if you don't do this, I'm going to release these
Mm-hmm.
pictures of us having sex or whatever. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
put that up, send it to your family or put it on social media, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the last one is interference, which includes sabotage or an attack that interferes with a victim's life.
Mm-hmm.
It affects everything from the victim's reputation to their employment, physical safety. A common and significant consequence this of this is victims losing financial or other resources, which can quickly spiral. Questions to determine if this is the tactic used include: has the offender significantly and directly interfered with your life, damaged your property or stolen from you, disrupted your professional and or social life, posed as you and created harm, like
Mhm.
pretending to be you, forcibly kept you from leaving or held you against your will, assaulted you while stalking, harassing, or threatening you, or assaulted your friends, family, pets, or seriously attacked you in other ways. Okay, so like I mentioned, the Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resource Center, great
Mhm.
resource. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff on there. Like, if you're wondering about it, like, how do I go about, reporting this? Will police even care because they've only
Yeah.
been sending me gifts and that kind of thing? Like, anyway,
I I think
so
they need to care. I think they started caring more now,
because it
especially after that.
escalates.
Yeah,
It
especially after that
escalates.
baby reindeer show, which freaked
Yeah.
everybody out, and that poor man was so helpless.
Hmm.
And also now there's like laws passed about posting women's pictures and like
Hmm.
revenge. What would they
Re
call it? The
re
revenge.
revenge, yeah, like revenge photos kind of thing. Yeah, but there's
Yes.
a term for it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. It
It
really is
is.
scary.
So I
I don't
hope
know.
that
Well,
helps with your story today.
yes, it does because my story today definitely touches on stalking. So I know you've heard of the story before, but thank you for
Mhm.
that intro.
Oh, you're
It's a good
welcome.
intro, good
Good.
information. And I know you've heard of this story today. We're going to talk about Daniel LaPlante.
Hmm.
He's the guy. Well, you know what? We're going to get into it. But if you notice in the background, you see like eyeballs and a scary wall.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew about the story. I knew about the crime, but I didn't know there were multiple crimes.
Mm,
He's a scary dude. So let's get into
yeah.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you didn't know, Daniel LaPlante was born on May 15th, 1970, in Townsend, Massachusetts. Daniel had a tough childhood. Daniel lived with his mother, Elaine Moore, and stepfather, David Moore.
Hmm.
Daniel had two younger half brothers, Michael and Stephen. Michael was 3 years younger, Stephen was 5 years younger, but he wasn't the biological son of the stepfather. So I get
Right.
mom had him before. I don't know if he really connected with the brothers and the
Yeah.
stepfather. Daniel's a biological father whose name was not technically reported. Like I couldn't find his name anywhere.
Hmm.
He subjected him to severe psychological and sexual abuse before
Oh.
leaving the family entirely. Like he just left and was never heard of again.
Hmm.
This trauma deeply impacted Daniel's emotional development, fueling feelings of abandonment, bitterness, resentment towards authority figures and adults generally.
I mean, if dad has already like
Yeah.
psychological issues and I mean,
Right. Right.
cycle.
Throughout his childhood and teen years, Daniel struggled to form meaningful relationships. He often appeared withdrawn, quiet, noticeably detached.
Hmm.
Diagnosed early on with dyslexia and hyperactivity.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I could see how like somebody like myself who has that tendency not to really focus on something, like I said, you got your brain going all different ways. Pair
What?
that with we know people like that. We know people like that.
Are
um,
are we like that?
I
No.
think we're like that. Yeah. Now, but if you pair that with dyslexia, I can see how
Yeah.
that can get incredibly frustrating. So, his school life was rough. His classmates and teachers viewed him as an outcast.
Hmm.
Classmates would mock him, bully him for his odd personality, behavior, and academic struggles. So, not only
Hmm.
was he struggling, he was getting teased for struggling.
Hmm.
One of his classmates told a reporter back in December of 1987, the guy never really was all that friendly. He never liked to go to parties and he never talked much. So he was withdrawn, but that doesn't make him a killer. That doesn't make it, there's
No.
nothing wrong with that. It could be because most of the people at school didn't really treat him right. And that's why he was
Hmm.
withdrawn and didn't go to parties. Why would you go to there are plenty of movies about the
When
outcast going to a party and getting screwed. Okay.
exactly, I was gonna say, why would you go there to
Yeah.
a party that one, you probably weren't invited to in the first place,
Right.
two, only to get picked on?
Right.
Yeah. Why would you subject yourself to that?
Absolutely. Yeah. By the age of 15, Daniel's disruptive behavior had escalated significantly.
Mm,
He started stealing small items from local stores, breaking
okay.
into school property, and gradually intensifying into more disturbing acts, such as stalking the people he did not like.
Mm-hmm.
His unsettling obsession with invading others' personal space and privacy became
Mm-hmm.
thrilling for him. Voyeurism.
Yes.
Mm.
Ugh.
During this time, Daniel was arrested a couple of times, breaking into neighbors' homes.
Mm-hmm.
He was only held for a short time each time he was arrested and then released, which is because he was young. He was 15.
Yeah, and
I
a lot of
guess,
times too, you're like, thing like once you notice it, like once, okay, don't do that again. Twice, you're like, I told you not to do that again. And then like a third time, you're like, okay, we're starting to
yeah.
establish a pattern here. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
He shouldn't have been released after a couple of times. He should
yeah.
have, it goes deeper into it. We'll get into it. Okay.
Hmm.
So when he did these robberies, he would steal like jewelry, money, and other belongings.
Hmm.
And he also earned a reputation in the community. Like people knew him as somebody who would break into one's home. So
Oh,
people
yeah.
did not like this kid at all. He
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah.
In 1986, he developed an obsession with a 15-year-old Tina Bonin, who went to the same school as him.
Hmm.
Daniel had somehow got a hold of her phone number and he
Hmm.
began calling the house because, back then everything was like a wired phone. There was no cell
Hmm.
phone.
Yeah.
So when you called somebody, the entire house phone rang.
Right. Did you have it? Sorry. It just
Mhm.
reminded me like I had in I want to say it was in high school. It was the same phone line, but you had your own phone number. So instead of going ring, ring, it would go ring, 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 and that way you would know it was for you. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yes, I do. I do. And the three-way calling,
In
that
the
was like
three-way, yeah.
state of the art.
Star
Okay.
69,
Yes, star 67.
Star 67.
That's right. That's right.
People don't know about that now.
No, no, no. So he was calling the house asking to
Hmm.
speak to Tina and her little sister, 9-year-old Karen.
Hmm.
After calling and talking to Tina a few times, he asked her out and she agreed. So not only is he calling the house out of the blue,
Yeah.
but I guess Tina entertained a conversation with him and then he asked her like, "Oh, you want to go out one day?" And she said
And
yes.
she didn't did she didn't know it was him that they went to the same school at this time, right? Or they she did.
She did.
She did. Okay.
Yeah. So she agreed to go out. When Daniel showed up at the doorstep looking greasy, dirty, and disheveled, Tina was a little shocked, like, clean
Hmm.
yourself up. Either way, she agreed to go out to a local fair with him.
Hmm.
But during the date, she maneuvered her way out after about an hour or so because Daniel began asking her disturbing questions about her mother, who had
Hmm.
recently died of cancer.
That's right. Yes.
Oof,
Yes.
chilling.
Yeah.
Now, over the course of several weeks, Daniel broke into Tina's home.
Hmm.
He would hide in a small crawl
Yes.
space and spy on the family. Now, when you look at this crawl space, like I had a crawl space growing up, I
Hmm.
remember what those suckers looked like. They were the scariest things.
Yep.
They were stuff made of nightmares. I don't understand why that I don't get it. Just make the floor lower. Well, I do because of the pipes and if you're up north, you kind of need that little space. But stuff made of nightmares. It
Yeah.
really is. It's crazy.
Because people can hide in them.
Right. Yeah. Now, he mostly spied on Tina.
Hmm.
He pretended to be like a ghost, banging on the walls, changing the
Hmm.
TV channel. So when
Hmm.
people would leave the room, he
Hmm.
would come out, change the TV channels. He would move
Yep.
stuff around Tina's room where she didn't leave it, like pens or perfume bottles
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
And then, like, after a while, Tina began to get scared because she's like, I didn't turn the TV on. I didn't move my
Yeah.
stuff over there. I didn't do this. I didn't do
Thinking
that.
the house was haunted, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. And also, after a while, the family started to notice some of these things that she was
Hmm.
complaining about because
Hmm.
there was one situation where the father, went food shopping, loaded up the fridge of food, and then that was at night when everybody was sleeping. And then in the morning when he woke up thinking like, oh, I got milk, I got orange juice, I got all this
Yeah.
stuff, it was gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, where's the stuff? And the kids were like, we were in our room. Like he started to believe Tina's complaints. So
Hmm.
at this point,
Yeah.
James is like, okay. Well, I mean, who's thinking that somebody's in your house? I mean, I don't think he's
Exactly.
thinking that, but you know what? He's going to believe his daughter a little bit and he's just going to walk around the house and that's not to see here. Well, guess what? There was something to see
Mm.
there. Another instance that Tina showed him that really got him startled
Yeah.
was Daniel started to leave written messages on Tina's bedroom wall,
Hmm.
such as "Marry me" or "I'm in your room, come find me." Sometimes these were
Gosh.
written in mayonnaise and ketchup.
Mm.
It's
That's what I was going
crazy.
to ask you if it was what it was written in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah. Oh, there goes the groceries again.
Yeah.
So one day when the girls came home from school, they were alarmed when they realized somebody had used their bathroom. Now, I don't know if when they say that, if it was meant somebody went to the bathroom or somebody just messed up the bathroom. I don't
Mm.
know. It wasn't in the story.
It was a
Um,
they left a number two.
I don't know what they meant by that. So they immediately told their father again.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, that's it. I'm searching the house, finding if there's anything else suspicious. And
Hmm.
when he opened one of the wardrobes inside Tina's room, he found Daniel
Yeah.
hiding inside.
Yeah.
Daniel was wearing face paint and he was holding a hatchet in one hand and a
Oh,
steel wrench in the other.
I didn't realize he was holding a hatchet. I did
Yeah.
remember that he got caught. Yeah.
hmm Now, he forced the family into a bedroom before locking them in and then running through the
That's
house and then
right.
hiding again.
Hmm.
Tina was able to escape out of the
Hmm.
house through the window in the room, and
Hmm.
there's where she ran to a neighbor and called 911.
Yeah.
The police arrived, but they could not find
Hmm.
Daniel. He
Yeah.
ran.
Yeah.
Now, Frank took his girls and he went to a hotel.
Yeah.
There was no way he was staying in this house. All
Hmm.
right. 2 days later, when Frank returned to the home to retrieve some of the belongings for his
Hmm.
family,
Get
he
some
was
clean
met.
clothes kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was met with a note on the front door. There was a family photo stabbed with a knife with two written messages. One of the messages said, "I'm still here. Come find me." And the
Mm.
second message stated, "I'm going to kill you all."
Oh God.
I know. He called police immediately and they ended up doing this huge manhunt for Daniel.
Hmm.
The police went inside the house to
Wow.
see if
Yeah.
he was there as well, and they found him inside the house.
Mm.
He was using the spaces behind the walls
God,
to
this is so scary.
wiggle his way from room to room. Now, it's not the entire house, but the
Hmm.
two walls that he was able to wiggle between, one of them happened to be Tina's room, and like
Hmm.
the other one happened to be like part of like the living room, but
Hmm.
he had these holes cut out, and that's why you see the background with the little eyeballs
Yeah. Yep.
to watch her and to just
God, that's so scary.
buy. I know it's crazy.
Gosh.
Daniel was immediately arrested and held in a juvenile detention facility until October of 1987,
Hmm.
when his mother remortgaged her house to pay for his bail, which was
Hmm.
$10,000. This is definitely the 80s because
Yeah.
10,000 back then.
Yeah.
While awaiting trial, now 17-year-old Daniel moved back home with his mother, but he continued his burglary spree. During one of these other home invasions, Daniel stole a 22 caliber gun from a neighbor's house.
Hmm.
So now he's armed with a gun.
Hmm.
On November 16th, between 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., Daniel burglarized the home of the Gustafson family, stealing multiple items from the home, such as cordless phones, two cable boxes, a cable television remote control device, and some coins from a Liberty silver dollar collection. So,
Hmm.
yeah, this is definitely the
80,
80s.
I was gonna say the coin
Okay.
collection. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the residents of this home, Andrew, a respected local attorney,
Hmm.
living with his wife Priscilla and their two young children, 7-year-old Abigail and 5-year-old William.
Yeah.
The family was admired for their strong family values, generosity, and close-knit relationships with the community. Everybody knew them. But Daniel, he decided to return to this home. Now, on December 1st, Priscilla, a nursing school teacher, pregnant with her third child, was last seen picking up her son, 5-year-old William, from a babysitter around 1 p.m. She returned to her home where she found Daniel.
Hmm.
Daniel, armed with a 22, which he had stolen a couple of weeks prior, had confronted Priscilla with the gun and forced her and her 5-year-old son into
Yeah.
the bedroom.
Yeah.
This is where he shoved William into the closet, and then he tied Priscilla to the bed and gagged her with one of her socks. He then raped her before shooting her twice in the head at close range through the pillows, a bedroom
Mm-hmm.
pillow.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel then pulled William out of the closet, brought him down to the
Yeah.
hall to the bathroom, and drowned him in a bathtub.
Yeah.
On his way out the door, 7-year-old Abigail was coming home from school.
Mm-hmm.
And she had just gotten off the bus and she walked into her home. And Daniel, inside the home, grabbed her, dragged her into a separate bathroom downstairs. He beat her and drowned her in the bathtub as well.
Mm-hmm.
When
If that's
Priscilla's
not
husband,
escalation, I don't know what
this
is.
is, yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. He's just like amping up everything he's
Yep.
doing. He's just
Yep.
just trying to, I don't know. When Priscilla's husband, Andrew, arrived home from work around 5:30 p.m., he went to the bedrooms, to change his
Mm-hmm.
clothes, to get
Mm-hmm.
settled in, and this is
Yeah.
where he found Priscilla's bloody remains on the bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He immediately called police. He told the reporter, "I was too afraid to go looking around for my children because I was afraid I'd find them dead.
Mm-hmm.
It was so shocking and unbelievable. I screamed and wailed." Now, I don't know. I get it, the
Mm-hmm.
shock. Everybody's different, but if I would immediately, I would immediately ran through the house looking for my kids like that. But
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
everybody, he must have been just frozen in fear.
Yeah.
I don't know. The police found the bodies of Abigail and William in separate bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
The officers had made a statement about Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
He stated, "My feeling at the time was that she had fought to stay alive and that Abigail was turning 8 of the following week."
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. Daniel was easily implicated in the scene using forensic evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Police had found the shirt and gloves he wore to drown the children in the woods behind the house, and they were still
Mm-hmm.
wet. With this scent,
Idiot.
they had the dogs, the
Mm-hmm.
tracking dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and which went through the woods, and then they ended up like 3 or 4 feet away from Daniel's home.
Mm-hmm.
The evening after the murders, he was taken in for interrogation. Unfortunately, the police lacked enough evidence to officially arrest him,
Yeah.
and police planned to return to him the following day to follow up on the questioning. I guess he's still a minor
Mm-hmm.
and they can only hold him for so long. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of did have to release him. But they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, but tomorrow we're going to follow up on all
Yeah.
the evidence." But Daniel fled. He left. He didn't wait for them to come back. And this is where police once again had a massive manhunt
Mm-hmm.
for this boy.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel didn't stop. He was still on his little excursion. He decided to go on a burglary spree, this
Mm-hmm.
time in Pepperell,
Yeah.
Massachusetts. I've never been there. I don't know where that is. But anyway, so after police were notified of these additional burglaries, they connected the dots and they
Mm-hmm.
went looking for him in Pepperell. They found Daniel hiding in a dumpster and arrested him. And that was on the evening of December 3rd, 1987. Now, Daniel at this time was officially arrested. Following the arrest, Frank Bonin expressed anger. Now, this is Tina's father. He was angry because he stated Daniel had been arrested before and you let him
Right.
go. He
Yep.
told
Yep.
reporters, "If Daniel LaPlante does not get convicted and he gets out again, I will
I
personally kill
remember
him."
that. Yes.
As Frank
I remember
explained to the
that.
paper, he and his daughters lived in fear
Yes.
while he was on the run. And
Yep.
I could see that.
Yep. Yep.
He
Absolutely.
he also stated, "You can't imagine what kind of fear we have been living in."
Mm-hmm.
His mental state started to deplete. He also said that he was financially broke and he was like
Sure.
emotionally disturbed by worrying every single moment, not only of his life, but his children's life and where to
Mm-hmm.
stay and all this stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel violated their home,
Yeah.
the
Just their
safety.
way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Daniel went on trial for the murders in October 1988, and a jury found him guilty of murder. He was convicted and sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences.
Mm.
Following the trial in 1988, Daniel remains behind bars in Massachusetts Correctional
Mm-hmm.
Institution.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, Daniel sought to be released from prison after a Massachusetts law went into effect stating that
Hmm.
juveniles sentenced to life in prison should be given the opportunity to re-enter society.
Mm,
Yeah,
it's a case by case thing, right?
thank you.
Like,
Yes.
it's not all like, it's not blanketed.
Yeah.
Not all
Maybe
convicts are created equal.
no, I think every case should be reviewed. Maybe a review process should be taken,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
not, no. So during his resentencing, Daniel apologized for his actions and asked for a second chance. He stated, "Words cannot fully capture what I have done. I murdered three innocent people. Because of me, a 5-year-old boy will never turn 6. There is a 7-year-old girl that will never turn 8. Because of me, a woman will never be able to give birth to her third child. I robbed an unborn child of his first breath. A husband was never able again to hear his family say, 'I love you.' I do not have the words to fully express my profound sorrow, but I am truly sorry for the harm I have caused. From the very essence of who I am, from the depth of my soul, I'm sorry."
Mm-mm. Those are words.
Yeah.
Those are words.
Yes, those are words. And yeah, they did do like a psychiatric evaluation of
Hmm.
him, which stated that Daniel showed no empathy, no remorse, and he continued to minimize his behavior. So yeah, this was all just words. This was just
Hmm.
something his attorney probably said,
Hmm.
this is what you need to
You
say.
say
So
yes,
say it.
exactly. Yep.
During this time, during his resentencing, Priscilla's sister, Christine Morgan, testified that her sister wouldn't want Daniel to see the light of day.
Mhm.
Additionally, Andrew's second wife, Carol, said that
Okay.
so he was remarried,
He
he
was
got
remarried.
remarried.
Yep.
She said that Andrew was plagued by the nightmares of his family's murder until he
Yeah.
died in 2014. She said,
Oh.
"Do not let this man out. He should rot in prison."
Hmm.
And a judge subsequently sentenced him to 45 years in prison. So it's not life sentence, but he's got 45 years.
Hmm.
So he might get out. I mean, he went in at 17. This was
Yeah.
45 years from
And he was
45
born in
2017.
70. So he was born in 1970. So he's 55, right?
Right. Doesn't deserve it. Doesn't deserve to get out.
Yeah. He'll die in prison. Yeah, it'll be like 2066 or
Okay.
2062, I think.
Ugh.
He'll be
Good.
88.
Well, he remains incarcerated and known as one of Massachusetts' most notorious criminals. The chilling saga of Daniel LaPlante
Hmm.
continues to resonate, reminding communities locked doors may not be enough, and those creaky creaks in the home may be somebody lurking behind the
That's
walls.
so fucking scary.
I know.
Like I
And
would
that,
rather it be a ghost.
me too. Oh, me too, totally.
Somebody living in my walls.
Yeah.
God, so
Ah,
fucking scary.
so that is my story.
Yeah,
Hope you
thanks
like
for
it.
doing that one. I didn't. I've heard it before, and I want to say the gals on the Wine and Crime. I think that they've done it before,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been some documentaries and like a movie made about it as well. So the movie that I was thinking of that I was telling you about before
Mm-hmm.
may have been somewhat related to this, but it's different because
Okay.
it's like a family living inside the house, right? And it's a boyfriend and girlfriend that are living in the walls or partners in crime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
While the husband is seen who lives in the house murdering his wife's lover.
Oh.
So there's like this whole other level to it, right? They're committing a crime because they're living in the house, but they witness a murder. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a little bit
Oh,
different.
okay.
I mean,
Okay.
they could have been based on this like and completely dramatized, but
Yeah.
yeah,
There
yeah,
was that movie that is based on this. It's called The Boy in the Walls,
yeah.
and that was released in 2023. You can get that on Netflix. That's where I watched it.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's
God, this is just
freaky. It's
scary. That's just
freaky.
scary.
Yeah.
I don't, I couldn't imagine. Mm-mm.
No, but
Like,
he should have never been released
no,
after home
yeah.
invasions. Come on.
Invasions and living
Yeah.
in the walls. Like, that's not something that you're like, oh, as a one-time thing. You were living in the fucking walls. Like,
And the
but the,
wall. So. the exterior wall and the interior wall, he only had 6 inches. There were
Mm,
6 inches where he was shimmying
mm-hmm.
behind the sheetrock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Like that's
Well, and while
uh
he was in the house, right? So while he was in, Tina's house, he was gone probably for days. Like, where did his mother think he was? You know what I
it was
mean?
that the family failed big time.
Yeah.
Big time. They did not get him the help. I mean, he never stopped. Even when she got
Bailed him
him
out.
bailed
Yeah.
him out, he
Yeah.
immediately started doing the same thing again. So she doesn't really have a good check on where her son is.
Mm. Yeah, that's
No,
horrible.
it is
Ugh.
horrible.
Well,
So
thanks for doing that story. Hmm. I feel
well,
dirty.
I know, I know. Well, we wouldn't dream of leaving you hanging, chatter.
No
So, for
way.
more chilling details and twists involving this case and many others, check out After That Crime Chat, available exclusively on our Patreon.
Don't forget to follow us on our socials, Crime Chat with Nat and Cat on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, Rumble, all the things. See
Mm-hmm.
what we got going on.
Yep. Want more chilling content and behind the scenes chaos? Become a VIP chatter to our Patreon. You'll unlock bonus episodes, bloopers, exclusive sneak peeks, and free merch. Yes, we have some criminal
Yes.
goodies in the works. So support the show, fuel your obsession with the weird and the wicked, and join the Crime Chat crew in style.
And be sure to check out our next episode. I am doing another crime and cosmetics. I'm going over Allie Shehorn.
I don't know that one.
Well, you'll find
Alicia.
out. You'll find
Okay.
out.
Ooh, okay. Well, you don't want to miss it.
No, we'll see you on the next Crime Chat. Bye.